Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Here today to talk about bulking. So, clean versus dirty. Which one is the best one for you? But before we get into that, I just want to give you a little disclaimer. I am by no means certified in any way, shape, or form in being a dietitian, a personal trainer, anything like that. This is all bro science. This is all stuff I've done in the past and what I've learned over the past decade of me working out. Now that we're done with the disclaimer, we can go on. So, clean versus dirty bulking. We talked about this a little bit last time in the last episode. So, if you didn't watch it, go ahead and go back to that. Watch it, see what this whole series is going to be about. It's all about growing as far as muscularity goes. So, that's what we're going to be talking about for the next few episodes. So, again, clean versus dirty bulking. So, clean bulking is going to be more, I would say, wholesome foods. Probably have, low sugar and low fat. Just kind of depends on which way you want to go. What kind of diet are you doing? So that's another thing. Are you doing a keto diet? Then obviously there's going to be a lot of fat, not a lot of carbs. But if you're doing I guess more bodybuilding diet, powerlifting, not a keto diet, let's put it that way, you're going to have way more carbs and not a lot of fat. So I'm just going to go based off of that, assuming it's not a keto diet. So, low fat, low sugar. Okay, and so that's probably the main things, probably few cheat meals. That'd be another thing. All right, and so you're still going to have a caloric surplus. Again, more calories. All right, now we have our dirty bulk. So here, we're going to be more liberal with what we eat. So, might have like McDonald's in there, something like that. Not recommending this, but these are kind of ideas behind it. Over here, be like, let me make a comment there, chicken. And rice. Okay, so McDonald's, higher fat. Fat, if I write that. Higher sugar. All right, and so you probably have more cheat meals just because we'll put that there equals cheat meals. If you wanna call it a cheat meal, I mean it's a purpose behind it. We're trying to get bigger, right? And so once again, a caloric surplus. All right. So here's the biggest differences between your clean and dirty bulking. So not too much to it. And then with bulking in general, there are some other things. So when you are doing, when you're bulking, there's certain ways to go about it. So let's go off, for example, like we used last time, our start cals 2000. All right, so there's two ways to go about this. Either we can do a very fast caloric intake increase, or we can do a very gradual one. So this is where the clean and dirty bulking, kind of depends on what you want to do. And dirty bulking will become easier at a higher caloric intake than at a lower caloric intake. So at a lower caloric intake, like 2,000 calories, really low, it can be really hard to get a bunch of McDonald's meals in and get enough protein. You're going to be very low on protein. Easily, you would maybe 1.5 meals would be 2,000 calories at McDonald's versus if you're at 4,000 calories, I guess that's 3 meals. So now you're starting to actually eat some food, but that's another problem. Now, are you getting enough protein in? So you've got to look out for that as well. So if you're trying to track your calories, you probably already are tracking protein, carbs, and fats. So you need to figure that out. That is not an episode. That's not what we're going to talk about here. We're keeping it simple. So we can do slow progression. And so from 2,000 calories, maybe we go to 2,150, and do that for 2 to 3 weeks. So we'll put 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. 2 to 3 weeks. All right, and the same thing, we go to 2,300 for 2 to 3 weeks. And so on and so forth. So basically, you just keep doing that. Just depends. Do you feel like you're not gaining any weight? Probably the beginning, you'll be fine. You're not really going to be gaining weight, so you probably could maybe do 2 weeks. I would suggest at least 2 weeks because otherwise your body hasn't quite adapted to those calories. And that's the point behind slowly increasing the calories, is so that your body can get used to that. Now, the other way would be to start with your 2,000 calories. And before I go on, one other point is because your body gets used to these calories, you don't gain as much fat. Yes, you're still going to gain fat because you're adding calories, but you're not going to gain it quite as much. So that's the point behind slowly progressing it. So it just depends on how patient you are with your bulk. How long do you want to be on a bulk? What is your end goal? All right. Another way to do it, you could, and I'm going to be a little drastic here. I mean, some people get more drastic than this, but from 2,000 calories, which you were on it for 2 to 3 weeks maybe, now you go to 3,000. And you do that for 2 to 3 weeks. Usually with making bigger jumps like this, you don't stay on it as long, or you don't make incremental jumps like this. You just go up to whatever you want. It just kind of depends on the person. And then from there, after 2 to 3 weeks, maybe wait longer than that. Maybe you do, instead you do 4 to 6 weeks. It all just depends on you. And you do 4,000. And so maybe you do that again for 4 to 6 weeks. And then you jump up. So again, just jump up until you're stuffed, basically. And so once you get to 4,000 calories or more, that's just depending on who you are. That gets to be a lot of food, especially if you're doing clean bulking. So this is the point when people tend to go to dirty bulk. Again, just experience I've seen over the decade I've been working out and being in the fitness industry. This is what usually happens. People get tired of eating this much, and I personally have done this before. So I get tired of eating clean with this many calories because I feel like I'm just stuffing myself. I don't want to eat, and so I tend to go to more of a dirty bulk. Maybe not McDonald's per se, but maybe instead of like some rice, I'll do some Pop-Tarts, do stuff like that. So switch out carbs for carbs. But then with that, you get more sugars and stuff like that. So it just depends on how lean you want to stay. So just keep that in mind. And so that's pretty much bulking for you. Again, it depends on your goals. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to stay leaner? Are you not worried about that? You're okay with getting pretty thick? Then maybe you make bigger jumps. And then maybe you do the dirty bulking. Are you okay with feeling stuffed all the time? Maybe stay with the clean bulk. And that way you can stay leaner. But again, depends on who you are, what you're going for, and how quick you want it done. So I hope this brought some value to y'all. I know bulking is probably not what a lot of people are doing, but I know there are people out there that struggle with this. And in the next episode, we're going to talk about that, about how being an ectomorph, you have to eat a lot in order to gain weight. And so this is very important for ectomorphs. So I know a lot of us aren't ectomorphs. We probably don't like those guys because they can just eat whatever they want and not gain a single pound. But they can't stand it especially if they're trying to get bigger. So stay tuned for the next episode. We'll be talking about that, and maybe it'll give you a better understanding of what they're going through. So please let me know what you thought of this. Leave comments if you want to hear more about this, whatever it may be. Leave a review, subscribe. It really helps me get this message out, and share this with someone if you think they could get value from it as well. And guys, please have a healthy and blessed day.